A dreamer who sleeps is only losing time, and the gears of time are always moving forward. And so should you. I had high hopes for this BP wipe. On a server like this, I knew it wouldn't be easy to progress. If you're a regular viewer, you know that I'm always in search of the most chill experience possible. But Rust life doesn't always play out that way when you're first starting out. But all you can do is keep your head up and keep moving forward. I had far too much scrap on me for someone without a base, so I spent some time at Outpost, selling some things, recycling, and researching. This would give me a slight head start while I searched for a place to build my home. If you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe because I post chill content like this every week. Thanks. It was starting to get too dark, so I decided to throw down a temporary base to secure my loot. And when the sun started to rise, I headed back out in search of the perfect spot. And that's when I came across this spot, a land that resembled waves of an ocean with endless nodes. And so I decided to build my main base here, the perfect spot. And while it was still early in the wipe, and not too many people had reached this distance on the map, I took advantage of this and continued farming. And as soon as I had enough resources, I began to expand. The respawn rate where I was unbelievable. As soon as I farmed away the nodes, they would return almost instantly. Some players were growing much faster, like this guy, but you shouldn't let that discourage you. Rust is a game of winning and losing, not either or, but a combination of both. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Good shots.
I was planning to leave my bow with some arrows in this box, just in case, but then I heard something. I had a few things that I could recycle, so I headed over to Sewer Branch. Little did I know just how contested this recycler would be. I made a point to do as much farming as I could as early as possible, because in the distance I could hear war and I wasn't ready for any of that. So I put my pickaxe to good use and I took advantage of this time. At this point, I was ready to honeycomb the base and add a second floor, so I did just that. Many of you already know, but I do not like farming trees. So what I decided to do instead was take some of my stone, which I had a lot of, and take a risky trip all the way to Outpost in hopes of trading in the stone for wood. I knew this trip wouldn't be easy, and it felt like everyone was trying to take me down. So I did what I needed to do to survive. And after a wild ride, I finally made it home. The next day, I tried my luck at the supermarket. The odds were low, but somehow I got a green card. My furnaces had been cooking for a while now, and it was time to upgrade the core of the base to metal. Some might think this is overkill, and usually I would agree, but with the amount of stone I had all around me at the moment, honeycombing in this way seemed like a no-brainer. was time to hide away the TC, and so I sealed off my bunker. With a tank of a base, I decided to spawn out near Outpost and do some scrap farming out there in order to research the drop box. This would be my way of moving loot in and out of my bunker. Every time I came down to Sewer Branch, the monument was looted, even when the door was barricaded. Someone explain that. Heading back home empty-handed is never a good feeling, but with the sun setting to my left, leaving a beautiful glow in my peripheral, this made everything okay. My mind was racing, but my heart was content. I headed over to another supermarket not too far away, and I farmed the road and recycled there. Now, I was ready to step things up with a crossbow in my hand and a bow on my back. I made my way to the entrance underground. I was done playing around and slowly growing. If I could make a successful run to Outpost, then I can turn this wipe completely around. I slowly descend into the underworld, unsure of my fate, but not willing to bow. Life as a solo on a server like this is difficult, but how far will tears take you? Besides the puddle around your feet, nowhere. With a crossbow in hand, I marched forward, determined to beat the odds that are stacked against me. Now, let's continue the story. I was slowly making my way through the NPCs underground in hopes of reaching Outpost so that I could recycle and send home some scrap. While roaming around down here, you always have to think smart. Do you engage with passerbys, or do you simply wait and continue your journey, increasing your chances of success? I chose to wait, and that probably saved my whole run. And just like that, I was safe. And the first thing I did was recycle and buy a SAR, a game-changing weapon for a solo. With enough scrap, I laid down a tier 2. And now, I was able to craft SARs. I sat in front of my campfire, and I ate, preparing to head over to Sewer Branch. Maybe I could do the monument this time, but if not, I could recycle some of my loot, so that I don't come home empty-handed. And while I was trying to make a smooth getaway, I started getting shot from the back. At this point, I didn't have 5.56 ammo researched, so I was taking a major risk with a little bit of ammo that I had in my base, and unfortunately, I ran out. I quickly researched the 5.56 ammo that I had so that I wouldn't run into that problem again. And while it was dark out, I took some time to organize my loot. And as the sun began to rise, I headed out to farm some nodes. It felt wrong that these furnaces weren't burning, so I filled them up and I let them work. Since I was having no luck With the monuments near me, I decided to go back underground for round 2. And with this method, I was able to research quite a bit. And so I spawned back at home, and I built a shop so that I could bring resources directly to my base. In the dead of the night, I made a run to my base, rich with all the loot that I collected on the run back. Since Sewer Branch was so close, I visited often, and most of the time, the barricaded wall was there, which is my indication that the monument is ready for me. But every time I would enter, I would find that it was already looted. And sometimes, when you're simply roaming to discover new areas around you, the land simply turns on you. With the electrical components researched, I began to make the shift away from burning wood. One day, while I was working in my base, I heard this. And when the sun finally exposed the area, I headed out to take a look. After encountering the raider, I went ahead and added a few more garage doors to the base just to make it a bit stronger. And yet again, Sewer Branch was barricaded, but somehow it was looted. With some fresh ore tea and a salvage pickaxe, I went a bit crazy on the nodes, because now was the time. At this point, I was done with Sewer Branch, so I made the long trek out to the satellite dish. Maybe there, I'd have better luck. With a blue card in hand, I quickly made my way back home. I simply came here to recycle, but the chaos that was waiting for me was completely unexpected. simple realm, and so I researched it. And then I began building out the last floor so that on top I could install a wind turbine to completely power up the base. And on this stormy day, the base was fully lit. I wanted a cleaner entrance into the base, so I built something simple. I wanted to grow a small berry farm, nothing too crazy, but enough for me. So I laid down a planter box in this corner. And then I took some time to set up my lockers. And while my berries were being fed, I made my way to water treatment. When I returned, I put away my loot, and I admired my berries, ready to be picked. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to my YouTube members. It may be the end of this journey, but I'll see you next week for a brand new journey. You've been watching an Orange Dream production.